Before we go into this week's analysis, just want to recap on last week really. Last Sunday I told you that I would be looking to short the euro dollar up here, and it worked almost to the pip, and although I got out with 300 odd pips, unfortunately for me, it carried on. It went 530 pips, and I know at least a few of you have still got some of the trade in here. So from a prediction that we made last Sunday, there was a potential 500 pips there. Also, I told you I was looking to short the pound, and in last Sunday's video we were down here. I suggested if price got up here to 56.45, I believe I said, I would look to short. That went 240 pips at its highest point during the week, and also during the week. Now I have forgotten to include this in today's analysis, so I will go through this now. This is the Aussie dollar yen. And last week, during the week for members, I pointed out that when price was up here, that this would be the area I would be looking to take along, and explained in great detail. We've got weekly and monthly EMAs here. We had a daily trend line. We have a daily 55. We've got the Bollinger Band here. There was loads going on here, guys, and you had a couple of opportunities to take this for 120 pips profit. So from analysis done the weekend or the day before, there was a potential 600 or 700 pips there just from those three pairs. For the Aussie dollar yen this week, the areas that we have now, it's currently bouncing off the upper area, the monthly 200, and the lower area, all these EMAs here. So the way to play this would be to look for a bounce back up here again around 82, with a view to the fact that it was likely to stop here. Wait till the Aussie dollar news comes out not long after market open. So the main areas to consider are possible half stake shorts at 83.20 area, 83.15, and longs here. If it breaks out of this area here, then you would be looking for a breakout followed by a pullback to 83.10 for a view for a potential long. If it breaks and closes down here, personally I would leave it alone. We're in a long-term uptrend and I don't want to go counter trend at the moment. On to the rest of my analysis for the week ahead. Hi, this is Mark with your analysis for the week commencing the 9th of January. Lots of technical indications that we are on for some reversals, major reversals on many pairs. This is a weekly chart for gold, and on the gold chart you can see this is what is known as a bearish engulfing candle, and it doesn't quite look it here, but gold, this candle here opened slightly higher than this, and the whole of the previous week's candle has been engulfed by this candle. So technically it begins to suggest that gold is certainly due at least a pullback. This is gold on the daily chart. I was showing you last week how we have a potential head and shoulders pattern developing here. This would suggest that the distance between the head and the neckline here is 700 odd points, and this would suggest that gold is going to pull back down here to around 1300, which would be a good opportunity to buy physical gold as well as perhaps to start to trade it on forex. The theory being this is the neckline, this is the head, these are the shoulders. What we're looking for now is a break and close below this area. Now it did break and close slightly below this neckline. Personally, I want it to close below 1365. So either on a daily or a 4 hour, I will be looking then for a breakdown here. Now that would be counter trend. Personally, I'm waiting for a point to buy back up again, and the areas I would suggest I will be looking is 1330 and then 1300. If you decide to take it as a short, I would recommend you half the stake because it is counter trend. This is silver, and what we were looking for last week was the price of silver to break this daily trend line, and it has done. And there are clues on this chart that silver is due at least a pullback. We've had a 5-8 cross, the stochastics are down, we have divergence on MACD, lots of things suggesting this is going to pull back. Once more, I am looking to buy physical silver, and as a forex trade it would be nice if we could get back down to around the 25 area. Silver had a massive growth spurt from August where it shot up from $18 to $31 an ounce. A pullback is logical. Now on lots of other pairs, this is the EURUSD on a weekly. We had a major move last week. I'd said at the beginning of the week in last Sunday's update we were looking for a short here. We caught it within a few pips of the entry I had specified, and this moved over 500 pips. Now it is very unusual for any pair really, but the euro particularly, to just fall on weeklies. And if you look in past weeks, big moves, whenever there's been a move, there has always been some kind of a pullback, and therefore that is what I will be looking for. Now if you were trading this on the weekly, you would be looking for a pullback to here, 3100, and that is certainly an area to consider. Here on the daily, you can see it broke the trend line we were looking at last week, and it just simply went, and I left it alone here because this was NFP Friday. Now the NFP news was not good. It was worse than expected and much worse than the midweek ADP news. It's surprising that the euro continued to fall, and what's going on at the moment, it's not that the dollar is getting better, it is just that the euro is perceived to be in a worse state than the dollar, and we're back into that cycle. We're now going back down to the possible lows after the Greek crisis, down to 118 area. However, as I say, I need a pullback. On the daily chart, I would consider primarily 130. 130 is a huge major area, and therefore that would be what I would consider. Others may look, if the euro simply sets off again, you could look at what we call a plan B method, and you would simply short 15 pips below current price and hope to catch the move down. But I've just shown you, I think it is more likely we will get a pullback before we get the continuation. This is the pound, and once again last week I had suggested a short at 156.45, and it did go. At one point it was 240 pips up. Pound finished in exactly the same spot that it started last week. There is an inflation problem with the pound. This week there is pound news. It's a tricky one, is this? This is a complete indecision within the marketplace. If it gets back up to 156.50 area, I will be interested to short again because we have multiple reasons. We have this 55 EMA here on the weekly and the daily. We have the previous trend line, its support and resistance. That would be a major area for me. Counter trend traders will be considering a long at 153.80. This is the Aussie dollar. Now I'm just showing you how gold is at that crucial point. The Aussie dollar did break and close below 100, which is a huge area. It was the highest it's ever been. We'd broken clear and looked as though it was going to continue. And I said to you last week, be careful. This looked to me as though it was going to pull back, and it did. It pulled back a few hundred pips or more, and it's now sat here. Indecision candle on Friday. Counter trend traders will be interested to short if it goes back up to 100. Personally, I'm more of a mind that this is still in a long-term uptrend, and therefore this has only been a pullback, and a 50% fib pullback, 9900, and this EMA all in this area would interest me more to long. This is the Aussie dollar on a weekly, and a lot of these kind of, you look on your weekly charts, a lot of them, this is not quite an engulfing candle. I can never remember the name of this formation. I think it's called a dark cloud. But once more, it is an indication of price changing direction at the end of a move. The Bollinger Band closed on the weekly. Lots of clues that it may go down again, guys. So you're going to have to be very, very careful. Dollar Swissy. It said last week we'd had a major move. There was the danger of the market being driven back up. What is it going to do next? Well, it's looking bullish at the moment. What I would be interested in later in the week, if it gets up around 9900, I would be interested to short again. This is a long-term downtrend, and I would guess that 9900 may well be 78.6 fib. Yep, bang on mark. So there we go. In this area here, we look always for multiple reasons. This area here, we have 78.6 fib, we have previous trend line, previous support and resistance. In other words, there's loads going on there. That is where I would be interested to short for a continuation of the move down. This is the CAD, and the CAD was all over the place last week. This major indecision spinning top candle again. It did go back up and pierce through 100. It went back there again on Friday. I would be interested to short at 100 again, but the CAD is very whippy. You get some horrible big wicks on here, but watch it carefully. I certainly wouldn't be interested to long. This is the dollar yen. Once more, we have this dark cloud cover candle formation. You can see here on the weekly how we have hit and stopped to the pip on this weekly trend line. So this is the crucial area, and the trend line area is around 83.50, and it's also previous support and resistance. So 83.50 is huge. The danger with this is the fact that the Japanese government, as I mentioned last week, have a habit of intervening when price gets too strong for the yen. Now, the scenario here is 83.50 area, we're up here, 78.6 fib just above. We are still in a downtrend, and therefore I am only interested to short. I doubt that I would do this. Do not take yen trades on Monday. Monday is a bank holiday in Japan, and often in December we had a bank holiday in Japan where I think we had 21 pips worth of movement on this pair. My best advice for this is wait until Tuesday, and let's see. Crucial areas then here, possible short. Counter trend traders will be looking for longs at 83, but not for me. Talking of trend lines, this is the euro yen on a monthly, and the euro yen on a monthly, it's a little unclear here, bounced to the pip off the monthly trend line again. This is how important these trend lines are, particularly on longer time frames. If we go on to the daily chart, what I had said last week, we were looking for a short in this area. And what did it do? It moved 300 plus pips. Once more, if price comes back up to 109 area, around here, I will be very interested to short again. And the good thing would be you would only need your stop the other side of this recent support and resistance. And what you need to do then is flick through and just check other time frames for EMAs to give you a little more support. If it continues to go down, then the best way that you would do it is let it go, see what happens with Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands have been very, very important recently. If this was to close at market open, it would suggest it's more likely to go back up. If it was to break down, I'd let it go. Let it go and wait for a pullback. Final one is the Euro Pound. This is a weekly engulfing bearish candle again. Huge candle for the Euro Pound. Once again, this pair usually does not just keep going, but you have the option. So you look for 15 pips below, carry on. The thing that worried me or concerned me is it stopped fractionally above 83. It would have been better had it broken this area. For a pullback, I would be interested to short around 83.60, 83.50 area, anywhere around here. It would be a pullback to a previous trend line and previous support and resistance. And if we look on our daily chart with all the lines on, then 83.80 was important before, but anywhere around here for potential pullback. And the final thing is, this is the daily Bollinger. The daily Bollinger will open tonight down here. And as you know, price 9 times out of 10 will return within the Bollinger, or at least wait for it to catch up. So it's highly likely we will get a pullback here, perhaps only to 83.50, and then with a potential fall back down at least to 82, the recent low. So lots of things going on. Let the dust settle after NFP. Be very careful with the Aussie dollar in the morning. Not long after market open, there is major news about jobs and retail sales. That could be what decides the Aussie dollar, whether we're going to shoot back up again or whether it's going to drop further. So don't enter Aussie dollar till after that. Leave the yen alone tomorrow for reasons I've explained, and just in general, just be wary. There are a few speeches tomorrow, and the general news for pound and Swissy, lots of things going on tomorrow. Have a great week. I'll catch you all again tomorrow.